suppose I do, don't I? I'm glad you seem well. Trudy. I found a little cottage. Abandoned, half ruined. There's a lot of such places to be found, thanks to the Absolute's armies. I've been making it my own. The pain still comes from time to time, but I won't let her torment me. I won't let her take any more from me. She's than enough already. Now she can dwell in her beloved darkness, ignored. Sorry. I found that happiness is an active thing. You have to fight for it every day, like you would a battle. I won't give her the satisfaction ever again. Healing. Learning to live again. It's hard to think of all that was robbed from them, but they're intent on making every day count for double. My mother's mind still drifts every now and again, but she has more good days than not so good days. She taught me her recipe for apple and plum pie, and when I tasted it, I actually remembered it from when I was a little girl. Some things can't be taken from you, it seems. Father's making himself useful, helping me fix up the cottage and caring for the animals. You should see the amount I have now. He's been waiting years for this. Now he can't stop smiling. Sorry, I'm rambling. Family life and pastry recipes probably aren't the most interesting topics for such a historic reunion. As am I. And no small bit surprised, also. Part of me is afraid I'll wake up from the dream and find myself back in the wilds, or worse, at the cloister. But no, it's real. Must I? You presume a great deal. I'm joking. Of course I want to know. Tell me all. Do you ever rest? Think of all those poor, budding adventurers looking to make a name for themselves. Take some time off and give them a chance, why don't you? Hopefully these meetups will become a regular occurrence. It's not that I miss the tadpoles, but at least it brought us together. Now we've got to make the extra effort ourselves. I'm sure we will, but let's be proactive about it all the same. We're more than capable. After all, we've faced down bigger threats than wrangling together a few social calendars. Don't be a stranger.
something strange in your old friend's mouth. What is it? A familiar invitation. He wants you to throw the object he's dropped. But it isn't a ball. It's the astral prism. He whines. Less talk, more throw. Scratch barks merrily in something like agreement. Scratch yaps a request you know well.
Oh, boy! Is it lovely to sniff you again? I certainly have, and I always will. Do you even have to ask?
To which I was not invited. I expect there have been other reunions to which I was not invited.
Seems like a century ago that we were all together, but also like no time's passed at all. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe I don't need to.
I expect there have been other reunions to which I was not invited.
Suddenly I had a spot of deja vu.
Is it you who paints the air blue? No more Amnian cheeses for you.
I expect there have been other reunions to which I was not invited.
Oh, right. You. Hello. Yes, I'm certain it is. As for you, well, I've heard congratulations are in order. You helped Mr. Dicarios save Baldur's Gate from the Absolute, isn't that right? That doesn't sound like him. You ought to come visit myself and Gale when you're able, if you can extract yourself from what I'm sure are very important responsibilities. We'll send word by pigeon when we've need of you. I used to have a taste. Ta-ta.
Well, well. Look what the Tressim dragged in. Professor Gale Dicarios of Blackstaff Academy. Educator of the esteemed School of Illusion. A pleasure to remake your acquaintance. She did not. I'm delighted to report. She sought me out. Not long after, we went our separate ways, and assured me neither she nor the orb should pose me any threat in the future. Of course, it's still in there. A constant reminder of my former hubris. And a surprisingly effective means of keeping my more disobedient students in line. Perhaps a tad too effective. I spend most of my time trying to convince them how much fun the study of magic can be. But it'd be easier to crack a smile on an intellect devourer than some of my pupils. Ah, so you still remember our little lesson? A pity we can't repeat it now. Quite certain you'd pass with flying colors. Oh, they try their best, of course, when they can manage to stay awake.
The cheek of them! Nothing a well-placed swipe from Tara can't fix, though.
And what of you? What are you making of this newfound lease? And I couldn't be happier for you. A fitting reward for the sacrifices you made in getting here. I've told my students plenty of tales about our escapades. You're something of a hero to them, you know? I'll be delighted to introduce you to my current cohort as a guest lecturer, perhaps. I'm sure they'd have plenty of questions for you. Excellent. I knew you wouldn't be able to resist the allure of sharing your expertise. Of course, you'll be most welcome to stay with me in my tower. My apologies, Tara. It will give us plenty of time to catch up on your... I'm very curious to know what you've been up to these past months. But I suspect... So, in the spirit of selflessness, I encourage you to mix and mingle for now, with time enough to come.
One so fleshless a form.
I expect there have been other reunions to which I was not invited.
Oh, pardon me.
Well, now. You can make yourself presentable when you have a mind to. I'm glad the months have not been wasted. Particularly as I spent them cleaning up the mess we made of the city. Same twisting alleys for purse pickers. Same wooden buildings ready to get burnt by next year's dragon. Same cisterns overflowing. Huh. The upper city has been almost entirely rebuilt. That's where the gold is. Even the builder's scaffolds are cleared from the streets. No dust left to sneeze at. Baldurians simply get on with it. Stubbornness, civic spirit, plain stupidity. Perhaps all three. But nothing I will sniff at any longer. Harpers have come from half the world over to lend aid. Farmers, masons, healers. My own son, Jord, has been wooed to their ranks. Already he plans crop cycles in Worm's Crossing. Not so for my daughter. Ryan's rejoined the Flaming Fist. Temporarily, you understand. To organize the craftsmen. Though she spends more time locking up comrades for pocketing aid funds. They might learn a thing or two if they don't expel her. Again. Ah, yes. Forgive me. There wasn't much time to They ask about you, of course. But I keep them a little too... there is still much to do. I may have little love for this city, but so long as for all your travels, I hope you have arrived where you want to be. Home. Whatever that means to you. Ah, sentiment. With the greatest affection, I can think of better ways to sour our stomachs. I must inspect the refreshments. You'll never know. Some nerd...
Ah, my dear friend, it's been an age, has it not? You're looking very well indeed. Our skeletal friend will be very pleased to see I found my way here, despite my invitation getting lost in the post. Busy as ever. Better that than the reverse, wouldn't you say? Every major publishing house on the Sword Coast has been vying for my upcoming book on the subject of our adventures together. I've gotten quite good at replicating your signature, so you needn't even bother with the release form. You might help me with the title, though. I'm considering The Hero and Me. What do you think? I knew you would. Perhaps, once the manuscript is finished, you'd even be willing to write a foreword? Or better yet, I'll write a draft and you can just sign your name. Better still, I'll sign it for you. Ah, your success really has been wonderful for my reputation. But you mustn't let me hog your attention all night, my friend. You've many friends to chat to, and I'd love to listen in.
Associate's always been so ugly.
Tara, never knew you to be cruel.
I said it to you, not them.
I expect there have been other reunions to which I was not invited.
You left the table, so this is still the...
Oh, hello. Let me guess, you've got some suggestions about the music choice. You have no idea who I am, do you? I thought Withers might have set the stage a little. I owe him a favor, one he is eternally invoking. I thought honoring the worthy was a fair price to pay for Withers to pull me out of the fugue plane. Alas, one purgatory to another. Languishing in obscurity. Cyric knew what he was doing when he punished me for that song, the prick. Before I was banished to the fugue plane, I had song prayers coming out the proverbial ears. Guess how many I get now? None.
Musical prayers were once offered to Menil, Lord of Song, a minor deity whose worship faded after offending the trickster god Cyric.
I'm washed up, I'm afraid. You
You know? You're bloody right. It is an honor. Finally! The scribe picks an adventurer of substance, of culture. What can I do you for? Your wish is my... etc. What song do you want? Fantastic idea. It'll suit the whole affair perfectly.
I expect there have been other reunions to which I was not.
Old friend. I thought slaying Vlaakith's hunters in the cliffs of Sword's Teeth might be the month's pinnacle. But I was wrong. Being right here, with you, is an infinitely greater pleasure. Were it not for you, I might not have known the value of partnership, connection. I found new allies now. New... friends. People I trust and who trust me in return. We've heard word of a Githyanki outpost hidden deep in Chult, the last of Vlaakith's Sword Coast strongholds. We mean to slay every last Sarth and Kithrak. I thought perhaps you'd care to join us. You always did have a great fire in your belly. I'm glad to see you have kept it kindled. Now go, mingle while you can. There is plenty of time yet for slicing...
I expect there have been other reunions to which I was not.
Oh, pardon me.
I expect there have been other reunions to which I was not. I fear I am becoming accustomed to the taste of some fed plants.
Hello, darling. I wasn't sure our withered old friend could live up to his promise. But here we are. And you're looking more delicious than ever, if you don't mind me saying. Time, it clearly worked wonders. Love is a powerful tonic. And where better to celebrate our good fortune? An old haunt with old friends. Exactly what I feared. Without the protection of our little friends, I was just an ordinary spawn again, burning in the sun. I fled the dark and found refuge in the shadows until night fell. I'm sorry I didn't seek you out that night. I felt ashamed. Like I'd lost everything just as you claimed your victory. I didn't want you to see me like that. But time lent perspective. It wasn't your victory, it was ours. And for all I'd lost, I'd gained so much more. I had freedom, strength, a whole new life. And it was time to live it. I've taken a turn as an adventurer and hero. It turns out no one actually cares about murder, as long as you murder the right people. And apparently I'm rather good at it. Yes, but you say all sorts of things. Honestly, I don't even listen half the time. It has made for a nice change, though. Inspiring hope in people instead of terror. Well, I do try to inspire a little terror. I'm still me, after all. No, this is all me. I swear. Don't get me wrong. I was a mess at first. Every day I yearned for the sun and mourned my curse to live in the shadows. But in time, I realized that darkness is as much a part of me as my fangs. This is only a curse as long as I refuse to embrace the shadows. So, I decided I would. I decided not to be defined by the choices other people made, by what other people did to me. My past may be done, but my present, my future, they're mine. This is who I am, in all my glory, for better and for worse. That being said, I haven't completely given up on returning to the sun, if the opportunity... But until then, I am happy. We've had quite the journey, you and I. From the moment I first threatened you, I knew you were someone special. Someone to take... I will miss our time together. But then again, maybe this isn't goodbye. So much as it's, see you later, darling. After everything...
I expect there have been other reunions to which I was not.
I've missed wine. Had to resort to making my own cider recently, which isn't bad, don't get me wrong. But a girl can't have fun with apples alone. You might be onto something there, though the name might need work. I suppose it's worth a try. It might keep the animals amused for a while. Come here. Careful. I might not let go one of these times. Don't be a stranger.
I fear I am becoming a pest.
New days, old friends. There's no greater joy.
Boo! We are not dreaming! It is our old friend! Oh, and it is good to be seen. Oh, after so many days down in the dark, Minsk began to wonder. You will forgive the aroma, I hope. Boo had a moment to lick himself clean, but there is a little too much of Minsk to cover. Minsk and Boo have been helping, of course. We got... The Zentarum rule the city's underbelly, so Minsk and Boo went to give them a tickle. We awoke in a Zentish cell, awaiting trial by noble It is a long walk to the gallows, and Minsk still has his fists. In ample time indeed. So long as they bone, but leave such matters for the morn. How have you filled your days, since we tore this sticky tyrant from the sky? Aha, the lovebirds still nest together then? Minsk is glad, though I am thinking yours does not sit on your shoulders, eh? Ah, you are right, Boo. That is... There is much merriment to be made before the night is done. Go, and greet the others. Minsk shall make himself presentable. Ah, this pond shall do nicely, Boo. Though I see no soap. So you...
Gods, I must look a mess. I just rolled out from under a pesky ogre when Withers yanked me in. Oh, I didn't mean... Well, I didn't mean that. I just gutted the ogre, not... How about I change the subject before I dig this hole any deeper? It's so good to see you. And I've got so much to tell. The trolls I've torn open. The ghouls I've cleaved. The stories I've been... I don't suppose you'd indulge me. Yes, but just the one, or I'll be yammering all night. You want to hear about the Stegosaurus that bullied Candle Keep, the impossible lich, or the young dragon who crawled out of Deeping Cave? Wizards have a penchant for unusual pets. A flying cat. Delightful. A menagerie of dinosaurs, on the other hand. The wizard in question was called Rylan. Had a half-dozen eggs smuggled into Candlekeep from the jungle. Did you know it takes 3 days for a hatchling stegosaurus to reach the size of a cave bear? Rylan sure didn't. It wasn't a month before the place was overrun by rampaging stegos. The great readers dealt with 5 of them without too much trouble. The remaining one, well, young Rylan cast in large on it by mistake. Luckily, this one had only clobbered a few farmhouses once I'd caught up. The ground shook as it charged me. I vaulted over the beast and grabbed it by the tail. It bucked and bellowed as I climbed its plates and straddled its head. I plunged a blade into the left eye, straight into the brain. It fell to the ground with a thud. Bet the ravens are still picking at its carcass to this day. I wish you'd been there to join in. Oh, to battle together, just like the old days. I suppose that's my way of saying I miss you. But the people we were, warriors, winners, saviors. I've seen him more than a few times. He's leading the city's renewal, opened the gates to all new... And he's back in his element. The likes of Gortash can bend people's minds with a few Bane's chosen primed the fist for a war they weren't meant to win. He convinced them there was an assassin hiding in every shadow. That cruelty, with a few exceptions, fathers pardoned every last fist. If my he still believes in the bow and the blade, but with Floric's help, valor is found not in the wounds you inflict. May they all take it to heart. I won't lie. Losing the Eldritch Blasts and the Hexes took some getting used to. Nothing but So, I stoked new fires in myself Now, the Blade of Frontiers is a ranger. I've missed you too. The rush of battles we fought, the heart... If I had to do it all over again, and I'd rather not, to be clear. Go on, the night's young. You all waste a single drop of wine for that matter. I plan on downing half a bottle myself. Oops, did I say half a bottle?
You would think someone of my vintage would be inured to the passage of time. Yet these past 6 months have seemed endless without your company. But now, our paths cross once more. We have all pined for each other's company, I sense. Friends in my heart each day. I always do. Should I ever decline, assume a doppelganger has taken my place. That was more than worth the wait. Apologies. You can probably understand my eagerness. I shall be as... Now, we have much to catch up on. Do not allow me to ramble on. I am eager to hear all you've been doing. In that case, very well. Our community... We have turned what was once a shadowy wasteland into a true home for all. In another 6 months, I would wager the scars of the past will be entirely invisible, even to those who remember them. The old masonry of Moonrise Towers and Rythwin have been repurposed into new homes, and the land is rich with harvests and bountiful trees. Nature and civilization are in harmony. Stronger together. It is, truly. Though a more complex, evolving beast than I could ever have anticipated. We welcome folk from all walks of life. Anyone who wishes for a new start. Naturally, it can be chaotic at times, but it is a thrilling sort of chaos. It thrives. You are welcome whenever you like. Now, please, tell me all, and spare no details. I shall. Their appetite for bedtime tales is greater than I could ever have anticipated. They have all but exhausted my repertoire in but a few short months. No mean feat given the lifetime I have lived. I desperately need new material, please. My reputation is at stake. Ha! You would ask to be tucked in next. But whatever the intrepid adventurer needed, I would have been glad to provide. I am all ears, though I never cared for that phrase. A rather unsettling image. You have kept yourself busy. I shall be able to keep the children enthralled for a few more nights yet, thanks to you. And should you... Now, it would be cruel if you'd like to. I shall leave you to the others for now. Unless there was anything else. I spend half my days in ursine form. The children... I'm glad they are so comfortable with the Oak Father's creations. But they must learn that not all are as amiable as I am. As for roaming, that impulse has dwindled, I must admit. Perhaps because I have found where I am meant to be. Quite often. They come and go as they please. They ask after you often. What you did for them will never be forgotten. I can see it in the land all. To make a child smile is to dabble with the power of gods, as far as I'm concerned. As did I, but somehow I feel like I no longer... Amazing what can be discovered about oneself, on occasion, but I prefer not to interfere. For even Korga may yet find true balance, thanks to her influence. Before you go, I have something for you. Just a... Ducks are my favorite, but I thought they were particularly fitting in this case. They are migratory birds, of course, traveling far and wide with the turn of the seasons. Yet, they always find their way back to where they belong. Just like old friends find themselves back in each other's company. Just a token to remember me by. Now, I've taken up enough...
Why are you looking at me so? I'm enjoying myself. You look upon fun, Jahira. The man just makes friends wherever he goes. Or perhaps follow him.
Cheers to you.
Oh, boy! Is it lovely to sniff you again? I certainly have, and I always will. Do you even have to ask?
I fear I am becoming accustomed.
Withers has a keen eye for a nice
New
vintage.
days, old friends. There's no greater joy.
Were we scrounging in barrels and crates for supplies when he could source these? God, I remember one evening when we had to eat 14 apples, some fish heads, and a stale loaf of bread just to get by.
I fear I am becoming accustomed to the taste of some fed plants. I expect there have been other reunions to which I was not invited. I fear I am becoming accustomed to the tastes.
All my favorite people in one place. Not to mention all my favorite wines.
I would kill for a glass of Ulava wine.
see.
Yes, my love. Are you done talking to your friends? Can we leave? I think not. They may respect me or fear me, but I do not think they like me. What makes me so? My quick wit, my cold heart, my cutting insights. In truth, I have never enjoyed parties, although they do present the perfect opportunity for a poisoning. Taste my lips. They are already laced with toxins. None shall be spared tonight, not even you. Now go. Mingle, carouse, indulge. Tomorrow we return to Baldur's Gate, and our campaign to control the city's undesirables continues. We will need all of our strength. I always have strength enough for you. Do not make me wait long. We will spend the rest of our lives together. Go. Of course. On this occasion, you need not even earn it, my sweet. Exquisite.
With for one comprising mostly of bone? Perhaps he wishes to live vicariously through the attendees' appetites.
Thou feelst it still. She is not here. She who was the boldest. Hast thy thoughts been with brave Karlach often? Truly? Most of the time it was she who was strong for thee. Didst thou not employ her ever to carry all of thine loot? It is said that mortals require levity, that it is the antidote to any of the darkest hours. And who knew that better than she? In but 10 days, an entire life was lived. More than mortal years. Mortal centuries were hers. Thy band, thy bond, gave that life to her. Not like thou wert her kin. It was written in the fugue plain, her soul burns so bright, it pains the gods to look upon. Recall that in time all changeth and all is rejoined. Thou shalt be with her again. What indeed? The balance of the world restored. The balance of these lives, mortal and otherwise, brought to account. Hear me, thou heroes, wastrels, friends. I have waited long to tell you these words.
It is over. For now. Thou played thy part in weaving the fabric of fate itself, but for every thread you sewed, so did the gods unravel another. Sleep, rest, revel, but be ready, for thou mayst yet be needed. Until we meet again, I wish thee every possible fortune, health, wealth, love, and above all, problems worth solving. To you. There thou art, the dead three. Thy faces gods, thy actions barely worthy of the name. Didst truly believe thy ploy would succeed? Didst believe I would not notice? Thou soughtst to bolster thy strength by taking away the soul. Souls vanish when their hosts become mind flayers. Didst think the other gods would not notice? Gods thou may be, yet thou hast proven thyself fools, everyone. The supplication of Bane, the whimper of Baal, the death mule of Merkel. Felled by mortals, I overestimated thee. They did not. Vermin, away. Thou wilt trouble us